Welcome everyone, and today I'm going to show you how to flash the Hiveon firmware onto an Antminer L3 Plus, and is it even worth it? Welcome everyone, Rabid here. If you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button, bell notification button, and give this a big fat thumbs up. Don't forget to comment below if you do have any questions. Our last video, we talked a little bit about that ASic Bitmain virus going around affecting the control boards on these, and Hiveon ASic is supposed to be more secure and keep that virus out of your systems. Now the main point about and why I actually installed Hiveon onto this ASic L3 Plus is because it's supposed to have profiles to reduce power consumption, so we're just going to have a look at that right now. So previously on our last video we were using what, like 774 watts or something, and now it is looking like we are using about 668, 669 based on this, and we're still hashing the same. We're going to go to the system here right soon, but our power consumption is definitely down. I'm going to unplug this right now. We'll do the exact same thing. I'm going to throw this on 120 volt right quick, and we'll see if that's down as well. Okay guys, so here we are. We're sitting on 120 volt now, and previously we were over the 800 watt mark, around 807. Now we are sitting at 692, so we definitely dropped over 100 watts on this on 120 just from using Hiveon ASic. So it's bouncing around 688 to 691. So yes, we're definitely saving a lot more power than we previously did. Now let's find out how you actually flash the firmware onto an Antminer L3 Plus. First step to flashing the Hiveon ASic firmware onto your Antminer L3 Plus is you're going to need the firmware. So first you can just go into Google here, type in Hiveon ASic, and it will pop up Hiveon ASic firmware powered by this guy right here. Click on that, and that brings you to straight to their page here. So here you can see S17 as well as the Pro version, T17, L3, S10, S9, and T9 Plus. We're going with the Antminer L3 Plus, and you'll see two versions here, the SD card version as well as the standard uploader. We're going to go with the standard. This is your main way and easiest way to flash any type of Antminer. And if you run into issues, you will have to take the SD card route. So download this version here. Once you do have the firmware downloaded, you are going to have to create accounts. So just head over to the Hiveon ASic main website, create your account, log in, and you'll come up to something like this. Now, these will be blank for you if you do not have anything on your Hiveon ASic first time using it. Like you just created the account, you'll have to add a farm. So you just click on the plus up there, enter the name of your farm, your time zone, add your auto tags or anything if you would like, then just hit save. That will bring you to here. Now if you already have a Hiveon ASic account and you're running like GPU mining rigs like I have right here, you just go back to the main account right here where it has this, and again add your farm like I just showed you, and that'll pop up your ASic farm. So I named mine Rabid Mining ASic farm. Now you can just go to settings here. You can check everything out. You are going to need your farm hash once you actually install your firmware. So I'll show you where that is. Right in settings, farm hash, it is right here. I have it blanked out so you guys don't steal mine. Now is the time to actually flash your Antminer L3 Plus. So you're going to log into it through the IP address that you found through IP scanner, whatever you did use, log it into your router, whatever. You log into it through that IP, put in your username and password, and then you come to this screen. If you're using the Bitmain default software, it's pretty much the exact same layout, but you just got to go to your system and scroll over to upgrade. Scroll down to the bottom and you will see where it'll say upload your file, flash image, all that. And this is to keep your settings. I clicked mine off when I flashed it. You can keep it on if you would like, but I shut mine off just because. You can do this while it is mining as well. There's not any information about that out there, if it should be idle, steady, or mining or whatever. So I did mine while it was mining and I was 100% okay. Again, do your own research and make sure it is proper. Now you just choose your file. That is where you saved it. Keep it in the zipped format. You don't want to unzip it for this. So you just find your file, click on it, and it'll be there. And then you just hit flash image. And then most importantly, once you hit that flash image, it'll go through an okay. You sure you want to do this? You say yep, and you do not touch anything. Do not unplug it. Hopefully you don't lose power for at least 2 minutes. Let it play out and do exactly what it's going to do. It'll then, once it's finally firmware is upgraded, it'll ask you for your password to log in again. Log in, and you'll come up to the exact same screen I have right now, which is this. Now if you do unplug it or something happens, you could possibly brick your ASIC and you just don't want that to happen, that would be bad. Congratulations, you now have Hiveon ASic Firmware installed into your Antminer L3 Plus. But first, before you get into any type of mining or anything, you do have to install or actually point your miner towards your account on HiveOS. To do that, you just click on the HiveOS symbol here, paste your farm hash, which I showed you earlier. It just popped up for me right there because it's saved. Put your farm hash in there and your ASIC will pop up in your HiveOS here. At that point, you can just click on it once it loads here. Go to settings and you can change the name of it to whatever you would like. So here you can see name, and I name mine Rabid Mining L3 Plus. Put it whatever you would like it to do. So you're all up and running. You can see your Antminer L3 Plus in HiveOS, but now you actually got to get this thing mining. There are two ways to do it. One, you can do the flight sheet right here, or you could run it the way you're used to running it through the Bitmain, and that is logging back in your ASIC, going into your miner configuration and setting up your pool and workers all through here, which works 100% as well. And you can do all your overclock settings and whatever you want to do through HiveOS. So if you prefer to do it this way, this is what you do. And then you just run into here. Let's click on our miner. It will begin mining that way. Now to overclock it, you just click on overclocking. And this is how you actually bring your power down. You'll come to this overclocking profiles tab here. Open that up, and here's your 660 watts, 504 mega hash. I recommend using this one. I went through the numbers, and as you go higher on the mega hash and the power, it does become less and less efficient. So the highest efficiency setting is the 660 watts at 504 mega hash. So I do recommend that. Also, the higher and higher you do go, you could reduce the lifespan of your A3 because it is working that much hotter. The temps are getting warmer, the fans are spinning faster, whatever else. So this is the biggest undervolt, the best performance, and it will help your Antminer last a little bit longer. As for method number 2 on getting your Antminer up and running, you can create a flight sheet in HiveOS. It's a little bit trickier in GPUs, depending if the pool is there or not. So I'm just going to show you mine right quick. So you go to Litecoin, you make your wallet and everything, just like you would everything else. If you don't have a wallet, you just add wallet, put in your address, the name of your coin, hit save, create. Good to go. Move on to the pool. Now I use pro hashing and it is not in here, so I have to scroll all the way down and have configure and miner. Now in here is where you set the exact same parameters that you do set back over here. You just throw that right in here and it'll be all set. Your password, your username, everything. Apply changes or save, I guess, and you're good to go. Now based on this flight sheet, it will set every your parameters inside of your original programming for your when you log into your actual firmware through your IP address. So it will override these settings if you do run a flight sheet. Well, there we have it, guys. That is how you install the ASic Hiveon firmware onto an Antminer L3 Plus, and you should be up and running by now. Now, if you do run into issues and you need to use the SD card slot in order to flash Hiveon, I could make a future video on that if you guys would prefer, but this is pretty much the best method to work, and if your Antminer is working 100%, this would have worked for you just fine. Now, a couple drawbacks of HiveOS is once you actually flash firmware of Hive onto your Antminer, they kind of make it hard to go in reverse. So you can't just flash back to the original Bitmain or anything. You get security checks. You're kind of locked to Hive's firmware. I don't know why they really did that, but they just did, and I'm sorry about that. But if you do need to go back, you can use the SD card trick, which is flashing through the SD card, overriding it manually instead of doing it the way you can. Because again, like I said, if you try Bliss, Bitmain default, going through the IP address, going software flashing, it will not work. So just have to point that out before you guys do this, and always flash firmware at your own risk. Just like with a GPU, always BIOS mod your card at your own risk. You always run the risk of bricking it. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it helped you out, and I'll catch you on the next one. Rabid out. Thank you for watching, everyone. If you haven't, please comment, subscribe, and like this video, as well as check out one of these other videos if you have not seen it yet. I do try to stream every Saturday and Sunday, so stay tuned for more future content.